Hi there, welcome to the Reading Sunday League face-off for the Tilehurst Charity Cup Final next week, 10th of May at the Select Car Leasing Stadium. We're happy to join us today. We've got FC Sporty and we've got Giveback FC. We've got Casey representing Sporty. Unfortunately, Sturty, the manager, wasn't able to attend, so Casey's kindly stepped in to represent Sporty. And for Giveback, we have got the manager, Clint. So we're going to get straight down to it, nitty gritty stuff. It's been a long season. Yep. We've had a bad winter, what has delayed games, pushed in midweek games, but we're now coming to the hard end part of the season, the finals, and also Sporty, you're in for the run for the title as well. So yeah, first question. Tell us a little bit of history of the club. Sporty?
So yeah, we're obviously Sporty, the sportsman pub at the Shingfield Road. We started 4 seasons ago. We started just to have a bit of fun with football, really. So we just got a good group of boys, real good players. But we was drawing names out of hats, and whoever got their name out of the hat had to play in that position.
Okay.
So it got to the gaffer, he had to wear a dodgy suit, dodgy hat, dodgy shoes. Whoever was the worst player had to wear a snake suit at the pub. It just brought the fun back to football, and everyone enjoyed it. Probably one of the best years I've had in football. We ended up winning the league and cup, and then the league being the league. Sorry if it goes out there, but they tend to stitch you up sometimes. So then they put us straight into the senior league, and then we were still trying to do it, but you've got to have a bit of competitiveness in you to be at that level. So we had fun with it, and then last year was our first year where we said, boys, we've got to be a bit more serious. So we ended up coming second, and then we got beaten in the cup final. Backpo had a tremendous year, got people to him. And then this year, here we are again, we're top of the league and we're in the final again.
Perfect. So yeah, picking names like hat, that must be a great laugh, especially winning the league and the cup. The league obviously elevated you to the senior division, but they must have seen the class that you had there, and you're competitive in that top division as well. So fair play to you boys. Please, Clint.
I just wanted to touch on something that you said. When you're picking a team out of the hat, etc., and you really had an enjoyable season, and it's purely down to the fact that you didn't have to hurt anybody's feelings, really, right? Because everybody just accepted it, and you had a harmonious sort of a squad, which elevated you to, and that's really great. I mean, wow. If we could all do it that way. Well, Giveback. Giveback was created in 2020 by 2 gentlemen, one called Jordan Reed and the other Moses Heidenberg. My acquaintance with Moses goes further back. We worked together. I played a little bit of professional football in Portugal, so he knew me, connected to football. But first of all, I want to touch on what they created first before the football, which was a charity. Hence the name Giveback. So they're giving back to the community. They do a lot of great work in terms of feeding the homeless, during Christmas, providing presents for people, for the needy, doing cleanups in and around Reading, talking to youth, going to schools. They're really busy. They're great guys, and I take up my hat to them. Football side of things. I got a knock on my door, and it was Moses. I hadn't seen him since we worked together, to be fair. I was surprised. Him and Jordan came in and they invited me to be part of this. So they needed a football guy to take care of the football. And we started off with we battled with players. We put advertisements out there, word of mouth, etc. So a whole lot of players turned, well, not a whole lot, but there's about 15 to 18 players that turned up to our first session. Some of them had 2 left feet, etc. But it was great, and that's how we started. We started in the 4th division, so we were very, very good. I think that it was refreshing for some of the players to play a certain type of football. It was doable consistently because of the opposition wasn't. Anyway, we went unbeaten. We were very, very successful in that league, and they promoted us to the Premier League. So from 4th division to Premier League, you must have had some sort of an impact. And here we are. It's been a tough season, yes. Especially over the winter with the bad weather, etc. Games getting delayed. I mean, we haven't, we've gone through phases where we played every week, then we didn't play for, a month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's just, it takes away the consistency in it. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. I'm happy to be part of it.
Yeah. So it's perfect. Giveback started as a charity.
Yes.
Before football was even mentioned.
Yes.
Giving back to the local community, and that's something that we want to bring in all parts of Reading nowadays, because it's a tough time to live. It's not easy.
I'll tell you what it is. It's some of the youth nowadays, I think that a lot of the grown-ups would agree with this. It's about receiving information, giving it a chance to try and acknowledge it, and if it makes sense to you, implement it.
Yeah.
Instead of having that chip on your shoulder, or I don't want to, I know it all, I don't want to take information from you. We learn from each other. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Hey, listen, when I was born in South Africa, I left my country at 16 and went for a trial for sport in Lisbon.
Yeah.
And I developed I could do basically anything with the ball because I spent so many hours with it.
Yeah.
But when I arrived there, I had really this notion that, I am the best thing that since sliced bread, until you meet other players from around the world and you go, damn, that's a smack in the face. But the way you develop yourself is by listening and understanding what they're good at and incorporate it into your own
Definitely.
thing. And so I think that what this has done is allowed them to, a lot of the kids that we started off with, some of them had problems with the law, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And ever since that started, to be fair, they've got jobs, they're consistently working. It's really worked.
Yeah.
Because they're now able to receive the information, because they bought into the fact that the football that you see on TV, who do you support? I support Liverpool. So you see how they play? How about you playing the same way?
Yeah.
Yeah? And no, that's impossible. Until they started understanding, okay, this is possible.
Yeah.
And they loved it. And they bought into it, and that's helped them in their lives.
Yeah.
And I think that's the greatest achievement that we've actually done.
If you could change a person's life and that for the better, you've done something. You've done the achievement. So
100%.
definitely. So you've spoke a little bit about each club and that, and just before we've actually met and heard this, what do you know about the opposite team?
I can go first. Listen, I haven't been involved with football in Reading senior level at all. I don't know nothing about the Sunday League, only from what my experience last season, and what certain people tell me. I have coached youth teams in Champstead under 17s, etc., which I was pretty successful, to be honest. However, with regards to Sporty, I think that Sporty, I watched Sporty last season. They're a team that's got a nice balance between experience and youth. Mm-hmm. They've got a tremendous attitude during the course of the game.
Yeah.
And they've got quality. They've got quality. There's no doubt. They've got ex-pros played in the Premier League, etc. Yeah. And what that enables the rest of the players to do is they look up to those players and they see how those players behave.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you've got a team that behaves in a professional manner, but competing in an amateur league.
Definitely.
That is a massive, that's that massive brownie points there for achieving something like that. So I take my hat to whatever Sporty's done.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Perfect. And Sporty?
So unlike Clint, I've been around the local football since I was 16 years old. So I played senior level one things. I managed at senior level with Sporty last year, Salford and everything like that. So I know a lot of the players for Giveback. So like you said about us, we've got the balance between experience and youth as well. That's what you've got as well. So it's a perfect balance between ourselves. So I know how their players play. I've played with some of your players as well. So there's a difference between you visualising what we're doing and then what I've actually been involved in. So like the likes of like Whitty, Lorenzo, everyone like that. I've played with them, against them. So I know what makes them tick, what makes them go off the handle and everything like that. So we've got the edge there somewhat. So but I'm sure it will be a great occasion for us both.
Perfect.
Lorenzo's temperament has been exemplary. You're not going to trigger anything.
Nah,
Who said I was talking about MMA? I was talking about Witty.
So if you don't know, Lorenzo's just behind the camera and that. So, but yeah. So from last season, obviously, you said that you were picking names at the hat. You didn't have to change the game and become more serious, and you've come up through the ranks. But how have you improved from last season? What have you done to obviously strengthen your team and just an overall improvement of the Sporty and Giveback?
So for us, really coming on the back of the 6-2 loss in the final, we all come off and was like, we need a bit of youth in our team. So we was just, I think we signed like 3 or 4 young people, very good players, and just give us a bit more balance. And we bolstered our squad with an additional 2 or 3 players as well. So on top of that, very good players. So our squad's stronger.
Yeah.
And then we've got more youth in it. So that's how we've developed on from last year. I can't say that last year was a failure.
Oh no.
Runners up in the league, runners up in the cup final.
Yeah.
Not the motto that anyone wants to be runners up.
No.
No one remembers runners up, but it wasn't a failure of the season.
No.
So yeah, it was just like getting the little tweaks, right, bolstering your squad and getting some youth in, which we've done.
Yeah.
And the proof's in the pudding at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And for Giveback.
From last season, obviously from Division 4 to the Premier League, there's a big jump.
Yeah.
So we had to get a little bit more experience. We needed a goalkeeper. We got a goalkeeper that most of the time is a St. Remains. We've evolved it to we don't only play one way. There's different ways that we can play, and we can play different systems.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've evolved it. I think that's important. You can't stagnate. If you stagnate, you die, because everybody else around you understands what you're doing and they get better too. Yeah. So you need to constantly evolve it. I think Pep's the master of that. To be fair, and that's why he's probably the best manager in the world.
Yeah.
So that's how we've sort of gone about it, and
Definitely.
that's how we've evolved. Yeah.
Perfect. So we are going to come on talk more about the final, and obviously last year Sporty did get to the final, and it was a 6-2 defeat to a very strong Backco. Backco done the treble last year, so you can't take anything away from them. What will Sporty have to do this year, but it didn't do last year, to stop happening, stop another loss happening? How would you change up type thing?
It's a good question.
So in a nutshell, don't concede after 20 seconds.
Yeah.
That would help. Don't give the ball into your box after 20 seconds.
Yeah.
That would help. Then don't get into the game and then give another sloppy game away.
Yeah.
A goal away, sorry. So just keeping it tight and compact.
Yeah.
You've got to, for the first 20, ease your way into the game. It's like any game of football, ease your way into the game, keep it tight and compact. You cannot be chasing the game on a pitch of that size.
No.
So that's where we went wrong last year.
Yeah.
We was always chasing the game, 2-0 down. Then we got the momentum again, went 3-0 down. Then just before half time, we go 4-0 down. So you're going in like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So he was always up against it. So if we can stay in the game, keep in the game, nick a goal here and there and then build on it, then that's how we'll improve from last year.
I know, perfect. Yeah, I say last year game, it was first 20 seconds, it was completely shocked everyone, but you took the result and obviously improved from last season, so fair play to you boys. Going on to Giveback now, and this is your first time entering the Tilehurst Charity Cup. Do you think that it's too early for you to win this trophy, or do you reckon, obviously you're in that opportunity, but do you think it's still going to be a little bit too early for your boys? How are you going to approach that game with a team who's never entered this competition and never ever played a competitive match on the Select Car Leasing Stadium?
I'm not too concerned. I don't think it's too early at all. Reason why I say that is because we have players that do have certain experience and have played there many a time. Some of them, I think, have won this trophy maybe 6 times. So we do have that level of experience, just not as a club and together. But is it too early? No chance at all. Listen, with regards to a give back with this season, and the reason why we're not competing for the title, which is unfortunate and it breaks my heart to say, but is consistency. I think that I'm not going to say that we're the only team that hasn't been consistent with in terms of players. Okay, obviously we've got the first 13, and then you've got the rest that come on, etc. Now that first 13, maybe actually no, about 5 of them we didn't have a lot of these games, and that affected us. I think that if we could have had that, and again, I'm not going to go just give back. I think that Sporty has the same problem. I'm sure that guy has the same. I'm sure all of us have the same problem. It's about that availability. Yeah. But I just wanted to touch on that and just show my disappointment in not completing until the end of the league.
No, that's totally understandable. So, going on to the next question. Just go talk about when you've played each other before, the previous results. So, previous results, we've had a 5-3 win for Giveback, then it was a 4-0 win for Giveback, and then the last game down the road, what was a true classic, was a 3-2 win for Sporty. Just touch on those games a bit. How, when you played them games, what was your feeling? How did your players come off after us? Just a little bit about them games.
You want me to start? The first game against Sporty, I tell you what, I didn't sleep that night because I'm so passionate and I really love my players. I really do. From last season already, everybody were involved. We're just a fantastic, nice, tight group. But playing against Sporty would determine where we were. Yeah. Okay. Because at the end of the day, we're not entering this league, and particularly not me nor the owners of this club. Enter this league to just be competing. We enter this league to win it. Yeah. And we're not going to, unfortunately. Yeah. However, playing against them that first game would determine where we were. Perfect. Now, the first game was, what was the score?
5-3.
Fake result.
Okay.
Fake result. We played very well. Yeah. They know that. We deserved to win, yes. Yeah. But I know that they had a weakened squad that game.
Definitely.
And I still did not. After the game, everybody was happy. Yeah, we won. That's when you got me. I was so happy because yes, I knew that we couldn't compete for the league because we were on par with them, and it just made me a little bit better on the day. However, sorry, I lost my trail of thought there for a minute. But with Sporty, that game showed us that we can compete, gave us an extra belief. Yeah. And but I wasn't happy. No. I still wasn't happy compared to. I know my team and I know how we can play, and I know when we are confident and we have that self-belief and I've got all the components in place, I know that we can play, we can compete with anybody and we can play an attractive football. Yeah. Okay. I'd like to win, but I like to win well. But I don't mind winning dirty. If you know what I mean.
Definitely.
I don't mean dirty by fouling or anything. I mean by just pure.
They used to say the best results are the 1-0 results and that. So the dirty, you get the result and that's
So to just round it off, what I'm trying to say is from day one in this league, we haven't reached our potential yet.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. And obviously that over to Sporty.
Yeah. So touching back at the beginning of the season, like Clint said, you can't make excuses when you lose.
No.
Yeah, so we were still building. We haven't got, from when we played you and beat you 3-2, we didn't have the squad that we had at that beginning.
No.
So we're still building.
No, especially your goalkeeper, he was very annoying.
You'd like to have him, yeah? You're just throwing your goalie under the bus. Yeah?
No, I'm happy with my goalkeeper, but your goalkeeper is... he's an extraordinary
Just put out there, Panda, if you're listening, there probably will be money on the table.
Negotiations, Panda. Pay your petrol money from Wales. So from the beginning of the season to where we are now, it's a massive climb for us. So coming off the back of you beating us, and a couple of weeks later you beat us in the Bucks and Bucks, we were like, Jesus boys, what are we doing here? We got to try and rebuild. Boys, you got to be committed, and then once you get that commitment, and then a few extra heads in, quality heads as well. And then you just get belief again. Yes. And then once you start winning in any football, once you start winning 2-3 games in a row, you start getting your confidence back.
Yes.
So from when we lost these 2 games right at the beginning, we didn't lose a game right until we played Backpo the other week.
Yes.
Yeah. So I agree. Sporty has always done that. We always start off poor, and then we go on a massive run, get the confidence back, and then weren't until the other week back beat us, and then we've won 5-6 in a row since then.
Actually, there's something else that you said about, when you go, you drop a goal early and then you constantly chasing the game. I will say this, just recently, we haven't managed to do that, but we've done that so many times. We've gone out and we've gone 2-0 down, and people that were next to me, including Moses, he will tell you that, relax, we got this, we will win this. I know that we're still going to win that game. And it's unfortunate that I haven't had that feeling recently, but it's because of the chop and changing, etc., and it's very difficult.
Perfect. So we're just going to talk a little bit about the cup run this season. So Sporty, you've gone through all the rounds. Giveback had a bye first round. Get to the semi-final, 1-1 against Mortimer, win on penalties, and semi-final 2-0 win against GC United.
Yes.
And little shout out to GC United. Out of the 4 semi-finalists, they're the lowest ranked team on there, but they're doing well in their division. Potentially going to win it within the next game or so. So going to the semi-final, how did you speak to the team, and how did you feel after that game, knowing you've got to the final?
Attitude.
Okay.
Attitude. Sometimes a player can get a little bit too comfortable. I was there, I've done that too, trust me, on a professional level. And that manager's, but he's doing it. I just want to say this, that when a manager is constantly talking and he's mentioning your name, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a bad thing when you never hear the manager calling your name. Do you know what I mean? And I just want, if my players are listening to that, just take that on board, please. But it was attitude. It was the right attitude from the beginning to the end. No slow starting, nothing of that. They absorbed the information. They stuck to the game plan.
Yeah.
And we played it. You see, I've got high standards for my team, but I think that we played a very good first half. 20-25 minutes of the first half we were exceptional.
Yeah.
After that, we missed too many goals.
Yeah.
We missed too many passes, easy passes, and it's something that we need to improve on against a team like Sporty.
Definitely.
In order to obviously win the cup.
Yeah, definitely.
I say win the cup because that's what we want to do.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And Casey, about your semi?
So the semi, I don't know whether it's being a bit disrespectful to Mortimer, but we won. We beat FC Tilehurst 1-0, very comfortable though.
Yeah.
Was never in trouble. Then we beat Bradford 1-0, again, was never in trouble. We played Tilehurst YM, beat them 2-1, never in trouble. So we approached the semi-final like a bit disrespectful to Mortimer, if anything.
Yeah.
Like a team's going to turn up in a semi-final and not try.
Yeah.
So we approached the game a bit differently than we would against if we was playing Giveback, Backco, or a Tyler's Patrons or something like that. It was a bit disrespectful. The game, you was there, it wasn't great.
No.
Not many chances in the game.
No.
They scored a late goal. We got a penalty right at the end, and then obviously it went straight to penalties and then we won.
Yeah.
So the elation, getting a last minute equaliser, and then winning a penalty shootout 5 minutes later, the boys were buzzing.
Yeah.
And then when you reflect on the game afterwards, you're like, that weren't great, boys.
No,
we can't be playing.
I was at both semi-finals, and for your semi-final, too many missed opportunities, too many missed goals. I think you were the better team. GC United done very, very well. I think they kept it solid at the back as well.
Yes, they did, yes.
Same with your semi-final. It didn't feel like a semi-final. It was bizarre, and to go to on the penalties, and you're watching the penalties, you're thinking, is this actually a semi? And for the biggest cup in Reading, but you've done what you needed to do.
Listen, you always have them days.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that we're in the semi-final, but we got through. That's the main thing.
It's not only that. Remember that Mortimer's playing against Sporty. So Mortimer has to elevate their game. So their attitude and their determination is now on high volume, you know. And that's what happened.
And their season was built on that one game.
That's what
they're trying to get that through to the boys. Boys, after this game, they're going to scratch nearly every game, which they have, apart from Sunday. The boys weren't registering.
No.
So but we're through. We're in the final.
Yeah.
We can't keep thinking about the semi.
Of course.
We won ultimately, so that don't really matter. So,
Going on to the next question, and I don't think you're going to give out too much away to this question. We've both gone through it before. Where can you see this game being won? It is one of them, and I'm putting it out there, and
in their end, mate.
Yeah.
If we're going to score 5 or 6, mate, when they miss all their chances. I don't know. It's one of them. We're evenly balanced. I will say that.
Yeah.
Very evenly balanced teams. Like I touched on earlier, we have to keep it tight.
Yeah.
We're not the fittest fucking team in the league.
No.
We have to keep it tight.
Perfect.
If we keep it tight, I think we'll have the edge.
Okay.
If I was him, I'd be saying the same thing about his team.
Yeah.
The first thing that I want to say is I wouldn't change any player that he's got for my team. Not even the goalkeeper for now. Got it? No, I wouldn't.
Backtracking.
I genuinely would not, because I believe in my team.
Yeah.
I think in order for us to win that game, on a pitch like that I think suits us more than what it suits them. Okay. Now we could be surprised.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe it's going to be vice versa.
Yeah.
However, history tells us that they will play much better on a smaller, compact pitch, and us on a level pitch that's a little bit wide. I think that it will suit us. It suits our play.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say to you is, what determines what I think we need to do is, if we play the way we know how to play, with the right attitude and the right tempo, that's what we need to do to win the game.
Perfect.
It depends on us.
Perfect.
Sorry, I might be coming across a bit arrogant, but I have to believe.
I was
in
just
my team.
arrogant too, man. It's fine.
I have to believe in my team, and I do.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of
and I want
course.
them to believe in themselves.
Yeah, because if you're not going to believe in them, they're never going to believe in us.
But I really do. I genuinely do. I know what we can do. I've seen it, and it's beautiful at times.
Yeah.
It's beautiful to watch. And all of them say the same thing. I know maybe he's not going to say it now.
Yeah.
But he knows.
Yeah.
What Giveback's all about.
I'm a realist. I like to watch good football.
Yeah.
Like, whoever likes football likes to watch good football.
Of course.
So yeah.
Of course. But good football also, please, doesn't necessarily mean it's tiki-taki all the time.
Yeah.
You can have great football playing counter-attack. You can have great football, playing it out wide one side, finding the space there, going 2 against 1. There's various different ways that you play football, and it can be really good. It's not only the tic-tac Barcelona style. That just happens to suit us a bit. I like to keep that sort of possession. Which we haven't really been doing this season, which aggravates me. I wish we could train once a month. Do you know what I mean? I wish we could, because we will have a little bit more organisation. But it is what it is.
It is what it is. So just coming for our last couple of questions, and out of this face to face, we've spoke about your teams and the players within your team. Same again, you're not going to give too much away, but you have mentioned you've got ex-pros in your team.
Why not ask us about our last game? Why did they beat us?
Okay.
I think maybe. Do you think that's a good question?
I'll
tell you why.
I'll tell you why as well.
Go on then.
Because they.
So you can have the best footballers in the world, yeah.
Yeah.
You can play all this beautiful football.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want to do. You can be pleasing on the eye. If you haven't got this, you don't count for shit.
I think tactically they got it right, because they know that we got certain players that are very good at the ball. They absolutely kill the space. In particular, Richard Wood.
We've got Whitty off his game within 10 minutes. That centre midfield who run games, by the way, and in the 2 games they beat us. Overrun us. It was like we had run, every player had run 10 miles in the game. It's like, what are we doing? Couldn't get tight. So in that game down the wreck, cancel their midfield, we win the game. And that's what you do. Most games are won in the midfield.
Yes.
You match them up in the midfield, you'll win this game. And that's what we've done within the first 10 minutes. And then we went on to win the game.
And it was a great battle. Old school tackles going in. It weren't malicious. It was hard tackles. It was fair tackles. And
I will tell you why we didn't win the game.
Okay.
That's exactly what they've done. They closed Richard Wood down so he couldn't find the passes. Simple. Great. I really respect that. And I'll tell you another thing. I also respect the GC United manager. I think they are good, because I think that he's not bad at what he does. Yeah? He's all right. He knows what he's doing, and I really appreciate that. Same like Casey. But what we didn't do is we fell into their trap.
Yeah.
What we done was, all of a sudden, Giveback's playing, centre backs giving the ball to the midfield, and the midfield's popping it long, straight balls. Oh my God, we don't play like that. And what was happening is there was hardly no space behind them, so it was bouncing once and into the goalkeeper's hands.
Yeah.
That was the theme of the first half. There was no movement, playing out from the back, playing to my right back, keeping position, drawing them where they got space behind them and explore that from one side. We didn't do none of that.
No.
I was very disappointed with a certain amount of my players, because I wanted character. No matter what pitch it is, I want you to own the ball. I keep on telling my players, you've got to have courage to play football. If you're going to play it my way and we lose, who's to blame?
Yeah.
Make sure it's me that's to blame.
Yeah.
Don't take it into your own hands, do your own thing, because then there's an excuse for me. You get me? So I was disappointed with that. But the last game that we played, the semi-final, not the last game, sorry, let's erase that from me. The semi-final, we went back to that sort of, we're coming back to life again.
Yeah. And
I think that it was in a good time, considering the finals on Wednesday, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We're coming into play again, which is great. So the belief is there.
Yeah. So yeah, we discussed the players through there, and the final question we've got on here is to make a combined 11 from both teams. And obviously you don't know many of their players, and you know them by face, and obviously Casey, you've played with many of their players. To come with a combined 11 when you're not knowing players, it's going to be hard. And
not only that, you don't want to piss off your own players.
No, of course. So I think we're just going to leave that one there, and we can't choose a combined 11. And if you take a Giveback team and a Sporty team, and you put both teams together, okay, you got a stupid amount of players, but I think you can find strength in all areas there. I think certain positions like you've got will strengthen Sporty, and certain players that Sporty got in some way will strengthen.
Let me put it this way. If both of our teams combined, and you've got that sort of selection of players, and we train together for 2 months, we would want to compete against Reading. No doubt. No doubt.
That's not too hard.
No doubt. And Reading's going to be running after it.
Well, they'll probably be at the game Wednesday, so
I can't wait to see Carol's face.
If it gets slapped up, I'll take the bonus and that. So, right, we're going to finish with one final thing. The final thoughts of this for the final. First of all, give me your final thoughts, and then give me a score prediction.
Right, so congratulations for Giveback to get into the final, first and foremost. Obviously as well, excellent community work, so you've got to put that out there. Well done, boys, keep doing what you're doing. But obviously, I believe in the boys, like, terrific group of boys, some quality football players in there.
Yeah.
We will edge it. I think it might be the same score as what it was down the rec, 3-2.
3-2? Perfect.
Could be, yeah. Again, you know, he's got ex-Premier League players. I don't think it'll be the same score as it was at the rec. I think that we will win by 2 or 3 goals.
Okay.
I'm not saying that we're not going to concede, but we will win by 2 or 3 goals.
So if you got a final score prediction, then 2 or 3 goals.
I would say 4-1, 4-2,
4-1,
3-1, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. So that comes to the end of the face-to-face for the Tilehurst Charity Cup Final. Thank you very much for Clint and Giveback. Thank you very much for Casey and Sporty for also stepping in on behalf of Sturdy. And yeah, so Wednesday, 10th of May, select Leasing Stadium. Gates will open around 6:15. Come down, support both teams. And that if you're neutral, it's going to be a fantastic game. and that's all we've got to say for. Hopefully we can do more of these in the future with the Ever Cup competitions as well. We're trying to promote this Reading Sunday League Instagram page, what I've took on board myself. Love a Sunday League football. I'll do anything for this thing. And will we get a final handshake?
Yes, of course, 100%. Good luck.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
And
perfect.
Up the Sporty.
And please support us, and everybody coming to support us, wear yellow. Thank you very
Brilliant.
much.
Cash and cards on the gate, and we will see you May the 10th, Select Car Leasing Stadium.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you.